Hey everybody, welcome to the Sanctum. What's this you say? A costume in July? Well, you know how much the Doctor appreciates Halloween, but there's a reason I'm showcasing this item here this evening. One is it's only going to be in the Sanctum for a very short period of time, and the other is it sort of ties into San Diego Comic-Con that started last week. So join me, won't you, as we take a look at this very cool piece. Now, Mattel made the announcement at San Diego Comic-Con this year that they were going to try and bring back some of their older intellectual properties. And they were going to start by releasing some retro figures at Comic-Con. And the three figures they released were Pulsar, Major Matt Mason, and Big Jim. And what we have here before us is the Collegeville Big Jim costume from 1973. Now, Big Jim was first released by Mattel in 1972, and at that time, he was more along the lines of a sporting figure or an adventure figure. He wasn't action-adventure or a spy at that time, and the outfits alluded to this. You had, your football outfit, your baseball outfit. He had a safari set and a safari outfit, and, of course, the infamous woodsman camping outfit. And the initial line of Big Jim figures consisted of 6 action figures. There was Big Jim, the heroic Caucasian leader of the group. There was Big Jack, who was the African-American pal of Big Jim. There was Big Josh, who was Big Jim with a beard. And if you're starting to see a pattern here, you're right. Basically, they just took guys' names and threw the word big in front of them. And then there was Big Jeff, who was Big Jim's Australian buddy. Now, this is where Mattel was ahead of the curve, because this is the early 1970s, and Mattel has decided they're going to give Big Jim an Australian pal, a friend from down under. Now, keep in mind, this is well before America had its brief love affair with Australia in the 1980s, before we fell in love with Mad Max and Crocodile Dundee, and laughed at the comedic stylings of Yahoo Serious, and thrilled to the adventures of Jacko. Yes, perhaps Big Jeff, Big Jim's Australian buddy, is the match that lit the flame that would later become America's love affair with everything Australian. And lest we forget, there were 2 other figures in the line at that time, and one was Dr. Steel, who was a character that had a steel hand. He was Big Jim's rival at the time. And it wasn't a rival in a villainous way. He was more his sporting rival. They would meet over games of chess and sporting events and spar with each other in the Kung Fu studio. And then there was Chief Tonkua, who was Big Jim's Native American friend. Now, although I did not collect a lot of Big Jim back in the day, and I don't collect a lot of Big Jim now, I am a collector of boxed costumes, particularly from Ben Cooper and Collegeville. There's just something about these costumes I find so cool and nostalgic, and I really love hunting them down and getting them and discovering all sorts of characters that I never knew were licensed by these costume companies or I didn't even know existed. Now, I think I had some idea that the Big Jim costume existed, but of course I had never seen one except in catalog photos. So a few weeks ago, I'm talking to one of my friends that I collect costumes with, and we discuss costumes online. And he points out that this Big Jim costume is available. But there is another member in this collectors group that we talk with that is a massive Big Jim collector. Did I say massive Big Jim collector? How did I miss the joke and not say Big Jim collector? Well, he's a Big Jim collector. And we reached out to him, and of course he wanted this, and he asked that one of us would bid on it for him because he is in Australia, and the shipping rate to Australia from eBay is exorbitantly high. So I bid on this for him, and we won. And it came in just about a week or so ago, and he was kind enough to allow me to film this episode so I could showcase it here before I ship it off to him in the land down under. You came from the land down under. Yeah. So as I said before, one of the things I enjoy about collecting costumes is seeing the different IPs that costume companies would go after to make costumes of. And of course, the two major costume companies at the time were Ben Cooper and Collegeville. And I love them both. But Collegeville has kind of a soft spot because they obtained some pretty cool and interesting IP licenses in their time. And I find it amazing that back in 1973, they had the foresight to make a costume of an action figure. Now, this is, of course, sort of just a generic Collegeville box. That's the other thing I enjoy about costumes is there's so many variants of the boxes they came in. They came in department store specific boxes. They came in character specific boxes. They came in line specific boxes. This is one of the more generic boxes, but it's not generic in that it's plain. It's got some great graphics on it. These sort of nostalgic, traditional Halloween graphics on the front. You've got your witch and your black cat and your bats and your cool sort of mid-century modern, starburst stars there, and you've got your jack-o'-lanterns, and you've got some great fonts on the copy that is on the front of the box. And of course, this box has those things that I love so much about collecting. And that is that patina that I enjoy so much. And that is the kid's name is written on the front of the box, Eric Passig. Now, a lot of people might say, oh, I need to have it mint in box and it's ruined because the kid's name is on it. But that's the thing that gives these items their soul for me. That this somehow made its way from some kid's collection. It lasted all these years from 1973, made it to me, and soon it's going to be making its way to Australia. This box is in really good condition. I collect a lot of costumes, and quite often, as a matter of fact, more often than not, the cellophane is missing from the box, or it's completely blown out, or it's damaged. Now, this box has a couple of dents and dings on it, but for its age, it's in really fantastic condition. And like I said, the cellophane is completely intact. And then, of course, the other thing we've got is, at the end, when you'd be in the store, you'd see, who's here? Big Jim. And it's a medium. For some reason, all the costumes I seem to find or get are size medium. I don't know why. And I love finding the price tag on that. $1.99 at C.C. Murphy and Company. White for Night costume. So this was one of those costumes that was sort of supposed to be a little reflective or more white so the kid could be seen at night and not run over by a garbage truck. And is par for the course on all these showcase type videos. I will show you the rest of the box so you can take it all in. You've got more of those great Halloween graphics on the side there. I love that Collegeville font, the way it's spelled, the lettering they've got there. White for Night, a safety first costume. And then, there's his name again, Eric Passig. Made of all rayon. Now, what I really like about the fact that the kid's name is on there, it means this kid really liked this costume, didn't want to use it. Most likely, he brought this to his school Halloween parade and wore this at school. That's probably why his name is on there. And again, that's what makes it so cool. So first off, this mask is in fantastic condition. Quite often when I get these, the masks are cracked. They have lots of chips on the chin especially, and there's dents in them and things along those lines. And of course, the rubber bands are always snapped off. Now, the first thing I always do when I get one of these masks and it has a rubber band on it is I always try the mask on. And of course, the very next thing that happens is the rubber band snaps around my fat head. So you can take a look at the mask here, and it's got that great little sort of eyeliner under the eyes like a football player would have. The thing I'm amazed with it, it has this front mouth guard that they put on there. I mean, I think that's pretty intricate for them to do back in the 70s, that they didn't just paint it across the face, as would be the cheaper way to go. It's got this beautiful, royal blue coloring. You've got the shield on the side with the stars, and that's the reflective stuff, the stripe and the stars and the white there. So the kid's going to stand out in the white on the faceplate. And then you've got 1973 Mattel, so it was licensed through Mattel. And the rubber band is still intact. Oh, and there's Eric's name on the chin. Boy, this kid really loved this costume. Now, there is a slight little dent there, but nothing too serious. Now, what I've been interested in trying to find out if there is a way to restore these masks, per se, when they're dented like that. I'm wondering if there's a way to sort of fix it so the dent goes out. I don't know if there is. I know there's probably no way to fix the cracks or rips in the masks other than like some type of masking tape or glue. But I've always wondered, I get quite a few where the masks are sort of crushed because they've then been in a box or had something heavy on them. So I've got to do some more research on that. And if anybody out there that collects costumes or deals with these has any advice on that, I'd appreciate it if you pass it along. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Now, you'll have to excuse me. I have a hard time trying to film these because of the size. So the illusion is lost, and you sort of see bits and pieces of Dr. Durant's Sanctum hanging around the outskirts of this costume. But here it is, the Big Jim costume. And it does look like the Big Jim action figure in the football outfit. It's got the nice royal blue. It even has the number 9 that Big Jim is sporting on his action figure outfit. And then it says Big Jim on the front, so that every house you go trick-or-treating at knows that you are Big Jim. And I don't know if Big Jim was a household name by 1973. So a lot of people might have thought, are you some football player named Big Jim? Are you Jim Brown? Now, the thing about the rayon costumes, and when I buy the rayon costumes, is the rayon dries out. It gets very dry and sort of crispy, crunchy, and it falls apart very easy, and the graphics on the front usually flake off. This one, that is not the case. This is in nice condition. The material is still quite supple, and the graphics are nice and bold. There's a few little chips here and there, but for the most part, it's really nice. And the other thing that's often the case with these costumes is the legs are often torn, or the butt is ripped out, or the crotch is ripped out of the costume because some kid tripped and fell or tore it on a tree branch. But this one, that's not the case. There's a few staining from age that's on the leggings, but other than that, it's in really, really nice condition. So this is going to be a fantastic addition to Danny's Big Jim collection down there in Australia. Now, as far as I know, this is the only Big Jim costume that they made. Collegeville also made a Hot Wheels costume that same year, and of course that was just done in the style of a race car driver. I'm surprised they didn't do the Wolfpack figures later on down the line, because those would have been the perfect choice for a Halloween costume for kids. I just want to give a shout out to Danny Gates for allowing me to showcase this wonderful Big Jim costume before it heads off to the land down under and takes its proper place in his awesome Big Jim collection. And all of the Big Jim figures that I showcased here tonight were from Danny's Big Jim collection. So that will bring us to the end of another episode of Dr. Durant's Sanctum. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and leave me a comment below. Are there any items you'd like me to take a look at in future episodes? I'll dig around the sanctum and see if I have any. And we'll be taking a look at some costumes soon enough. Halloween season is coming, and I've picked up quite a few cool costumes this year. So, goodbye from Big Jim, Big Jeff, Big Jack, Big Josh, and the big jerk, me. Oh, there's just one thing I've got to do before I pack this up and ship it off to Australia. And that would be try it on. Let's see if I can still squeeze into a child's medium. Little snug. Walk in beauty, my friends.
Uptown got its hustlers, the Bowery got its bums. 42nd Street got Big Jim, a walker, he a bull shooting son of a gun. Yeah, he big and dumb as a man can come, but he's stronger than a country horse. And when the bad folks all get together at night, you know they all call Big Jim Ball just because. And they say you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind. Jim. I don't do da dee 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 dee. Well, out of South Alabama come a country boy. He said, I'm looking for a man named Jim. I am a pool shooting boy. My name is Willie McCoy. But down home they call me Slim. Yeah,
You came from a land down under.